A great weekend. I'm live streaming this, but this will be also pre-recorded and left up for you guys to rewatch. Also, you can slow it down, rewind certain parts, and just go over whatever you need in order to help you learn at your own pace. But I'm going to go pretty quickly through this cover that I did to Wait a Minute by Willow. This blew up a lot on Instagram, and people really like this. I released the sheets over there, so go follow me on Instagram at _Audimus_. Same spelling as my YouTube channel. And yeah, you can find the sheets there. You can also DM me if you need a PDF of this. And I'm also offering drum lessons now this summer. So if at any point you're interested in taking drum lessons with me, do that as well. But once again, this will be pre-recorded and left up for you guys. But here's a full breakdown of my cover of Wait a Minute. So once again, sheets on Instagram. You can pull them up and follow along if you want. But here goes basically a full rundown. So on the first beat, beat 1, we have 4 single strokes. They're all going to be accented and up. So you want to make sure they're nice and fluent and rebounded. We're also going to add a drag to the front of those 4. So if you don't know what a drag is, it's going to be 2 fast grace notes. A lot of you might think, oh, it's a diddle. But rather than a diddle, it's actually a drag. So it's going to be a lot faster, and it's meant to be a lot quicker. So the first beat basically lines up with Wait a Minute, like the first vocal line and lyric that comes in. Wait a minute. Yep. Oh, I wrote that to line up as best as I can. I thought it was cool. So after that, you're going to move on count 2 to basically the edge of the drum. And it's going to be a flam 5. Key with this, keep your grace notes low to match the diddles. If you lift the grace note, it's going to open up the flam and cause the 5-stroke roll that you're playing after the flam to be unclean, and it's going to sound bad. So keep it low, keep it on the edge, keep it nice and articulate. So after that, we have a choo-choo with a buzz on the 4th partial. Yeah. And then a tap roll in the space of 5-lip. Make sure you keep enough space between the accent and the roll. And that completes measure 1. So you're already I guess 24th of the way done with this piece. Cool. And for the next measure, it's pretty simple. We start with a paradiddle sticking, and then we start this inverted buzz sticking. So now this might look complex, but all this is you're after the paradiddle doing left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, over and over again. And then you end with a accented or kind of more tenutoed diddle. So now the part where I add the cool visual aspect to this, and this is something I love to do in a lot of my covers, licks, etc., is on all the rights in the middle of those left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, etc. There's only one right, and you have the spacing to kind of do cool visuals there. So sometimes I like to do 3-way backsticking, and then it adds a cool texture. But in this case, I added pancake flips. Yeah, these Roger Carter sticks are very light, but they seem to get the job done. So how this goes, right? So you're just flipping on the first one, and the last right you should play should be a regular low stroke, right? So put these 2 measures together. Cool. And then we get into measure 3. So also, while you're doing these pancake flips and this buzz pattern, you are also moving it back to the center. So you basically this starts on the edge, right? So it moves to the edge there. And and then you're moving back to the edge. It's kind of like, think of it as a crescendo, but I don't like to emphasize crescendo there because you don't want to be like raising the notes as you do that, because that's going to make the stick flips uncomfortable. So it's just moving to the edge to give it that natural raise in volume. All right, so now for measure 3, we have 2 choo-choos once again with drags on the end of them. So they're basically book reports without diddles on the first partial. So tap tap flam to the tap tap flam to the tap. Cool. And then after that, you're going to have a low right stroke, and then a left flam. Once again, just keep the right note playing, and you're going to play that'll play the greatest note. And then you're going to have a kicked herta. Cool. So now you end off with a left-hand choo-choo. So that full measure, measure 3, and then you release with a shot. So let's add that on to the first 2 measures. My sheet music just disappeared. Let me reopen my computer. Cool. So then for this measure, this is one of my favorite measures in the entire cover. You have shut the buzz, and you're going to do a right twirl on that. Then you're going to do it again with a bit different spacing between 16th notes to 8th notes. And you're doing a flip on the second one. So you gotta move the sticks quick, especially with your right hand, but it adds a really cool layer of visual while you're playing some very simple rhythms. And then for the last beat, so this will be beat 4, you're playing a shot that's going to be a dotted 8th note, and then a behind the back shot that I think everybody really liked, that is a 16th note on the rim. So my tips for success with doing a behind the back shot is to make sure that whatever basically quality you do with the shot here, you need to transfer that over behind the back. So often you got to twist your body. So doing this with a harness on and wearing a drum, not possible. But you want to be able to twist your body. So it's good to do some stretches. Make sure you can actually like do that and get around. And then you want to make sure you get enough like of the stick over the rim of the drum in order that you can actually accomplish and make sure you hit an accurate shot, right? You notice I'm adding a cool flair. I mean, I could literally just keep my left hand in the same position, but I like raising it because it adds, once again, that visual element that really catches the eye when you play that. So that full measure goes like this. And then to start measure 5, we have a accident left buzz. And this is going to go into another right hand choo-choo. And then a left hand accent into a fast accented paradiddle. So when we put those together, and then a crossed over low paradiddle. Key thing is to move the left hand and make sure it does not get anywhere in the playing zone of your right hand, and you'll be able to accomplish this very easily. Tenor players or quad players should have a much easier time with this, or if you play drum set, you should be more comfortable doing these crossovers. Cool. So once again, let's add those. Add that 5th measure onto the 4th. I'm not going to keep playing all the measures together as we go, but I am going to start stringing these together just so you guys can see how it flows, and also start practicing playing not just one measure but multiple measures together. So from the top, first 5 measures. now we're going to move on to probably one of the more tricky measures here. So we're going to start with a left-hand backstick. So coming out of the previous measure, you're going to have a left-hand backstick. Highly recommend just using wrist for this one. I know in a lot of people that I've taught how to do backsticking, a lot of my backsticking, I use a bit of arm to create that lift and once again create that visual aspect. But with this, it's all about speed. And this also helps you get good sound quality. So quick wrist left-hand backstick. So that is going to be the transition for this. So this is a juggle transfer. So it's not just stick juggling or spider sticking, whatever people call these things these days. There's so many different ways to do it. But I like to call these a transfer because you still play while you're juggling. Yeah. So it kind of gets in the territory of the one stick wonder, right? But it's adding juggling to that. So that's why this is a hybrid stick trick. So the way that this pattern goes, so once again we have the left-hand backstick, 2 low rights, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? And on that third note, that's where the transfer begins. So it's going to be, if I just take my hand away, right? And then on that transfer, I'm sliding it. Right, right. And you notice the stick is now in the backstick position for my right hand. So with that transfer, you don't want to throw the stick. It is literally just an easy, gentle toss. Literally like you're just flipping a water bottle to your other hand, very simply. You're not throwing it, it's a gentle toss, right? You could do this all day, right? It's all muscle memory, and this is just high enough over so that it's clearing the stick that you're sliding underneath and not interfering with it. But anyways, so once you figure out this pattern, it pretty much comes naturally with the sticking, but and on that last, on the end of 4, beat 4, you play a accented fast paradiddle. Keep in mind, this is going to be at 105, so it is pretty fast. So playing the previous measure going into this. Cool. So that is that measure. Once again, if you want to learn more about these hybrid stick tricks or anything, you can contact me for drum lessons. I teach these and can teach you all the mechanics of them. But yeah, tough. But it's something you can work on. First, of course, get comfortable with the mechanics of regular juggling, and then you can work on doing transfers. Cool. So, continuing the flow on, I'm going to play that measure once again and show you how it flows into the next measure. So, for this measure, we're going to start with a low left hand. And on the, I believe this would be the E of 1, 1E, you're going to have a right hand accented paradiddle. And then you're going to have a crossover that with single sticking, right? Quad players, center players probably know a lot about this. Goal is to try and get as much sound quality as you can, even though you're crossing over the sticks in a pretty unnatural position with flipping traditional grip over. It's kind of hard to get good sound quality doing that. So, right? So, that is the start of that measure, first 2 counts. Then you're going to have 4 single strokes with the backstick on the 4th partial, beat 3. And then you're going to have a 2 low right hands, and then a left hand buzz, and a right hand shot. Once again, I really like putting buzzes in music because it adds a lot of articulation and layering and complexity to the music. So, 7th measure goes like this. So that backstick just kind of adds, once again, the visual motion coming out of the crossover, and that really adds another layer to it. So now we're on to measure 8. I forgot to notate this in the sheet music, so that's why I'm doing a breakdown here. But you're gonna have a thumb roll on this first beat. First beat of 1, 4 rights, and a thumb roll. If you don't know how to do a thumb roll, it's very, very simple, but can be confusing. You're just pushing the stick around your thumb, literally it's called a thumb roll, with your middle finger. So watch slowly, watch my middle finger. You want to just keep it balanced, and the stick will naturally, because of the weight and the taper of the stick, I mean depending on the stick that you have, will fly around. So like if I did this reversed, you can tell because of the heavier end of the stick, it's just going to fly away. But because of the way the stick's naturally balanced, when you do a thumb roll, it will naturally come back to you, because the shorter end that's heavier back here will weight itself and carry the stick around, just physics, momentum, etc. So, you do this, you're going to be coming down on beat 2 with the left hand backstick. Cool? And then this is the first of many of these patterns that I put throughout this piece, and these are called rim knock / rim slide patterns. So these are a combination of doing backsticks, stick shots, or stick slides, rim knocks. So it adds, once again, those cool accent and articulations in there with so many different pitches and sounds. So that is beat 2. Backstick, stick slide, rim rim. Right? So, and then reinitiates the process, but it's kind of halved this time. After the right hand rim knock, which comes in on the count beat 3, you're going to have left hand backstick and another stick slide. And then on beat 4, you play another left hand rim knock. And I'm simply just turning my wrist up and rotating to get a good sound quality and accomplish playing those rim knocks. And then to finish this off, this is probably one of the coolest transitions, both with kind of what's going instrumentally and vocally, and also just what I play, that goes into the next measure. So, once again, measure 8. Alright, let's play the first 8 measures, a bit under tempo. Yeah, really, really fun flow to it, and start thinking about, as you learn this, kind of the song itself, if you want to play it to that song, and how it lines up, how it works, and how it sounds. That can really help you with learning these rhythms, and also playing them and getting them in time. So once again, I'm going to go on and do the next 8 measures. I'm only going to do 60 measures for this live stream because the rest of it is a bit more challenging, but also just kind of redundant of stuff that was in it before. And I think the first 16 measures is plenty enough learning for today for everybody. But so for measure 9, we have a low right hand paradiddle into a left hand buzzed 8th note. So for the first time, you can kind of like open up this buzz a little bit more and give it a bit more tone, because all the other buzzes in this are like 16th note and they're very fast, like very short. You can give this a nice sound. So then you're going to play a shot, and now I'm introducing a rudiment that literally like no other person that does these covers like I do plays in their music, and that is Radome Cues. So yeah, if you learn these in like, I don't know, middle school or high school band class or percussion class, Radome Cues are fun. So, Radome Cues is basically a tap, in this case at first a shot, but a shot and then a drag, just like we had on the first beat of measure 1, into a triplet. So once again, it's not a diddle, not as open as that, it's closed. In this case, kind of find that happy medium in between, just so you don't think too much about the drag. So, measure 9 goes like this. And then we start this complex 6-tuplet backsticking pattern that's pretty challenging. So, listen to this. So these are basically Shirley Murphy's. So which is a putida 3, putida 3. So get good at your triple strokes to play this, right? So triple strokes. And then we're basically backsticking the first note. I was inspired by this because back in an old line, I think it might have been Cadets 2013, but I don't think it was. An old versions of the Cadets used this a lot. It's a big thing in McNutt writing, and it's pretty cool. So basically Shirley Murphy's, but with backsticks on the first partial. So then let me play measure 9 and 10 together so you can see the flow of these 6 tuplets. So that is how that goes. So you have basically paradiddle buzz, two single Radome Cues, 3 of those backsticked Shirley Murphys. Sorry, no backstick release. And then you were going to release on the right hand. So there's going to be 4 right hands in a row. So got to get your legato chops up for this. I know, that's just me being evil with the writing on this, right? And yeah, you're doing a 6-tuplet coming out of so yeah, very fast. I'm not going to try and explain that anymore. It's very complex, but that is how those 2 measures go. So once again, let me play it one more time, a bit under tempo. And you're going to release with this left hand backstick. So then we have a heat transfer in measure 11. A heat transfer is basically like what we did with the transfer earlier, but it gets even more complex because you're doing it with a high mom. Yeah, just when you thought it was going to get easier, sorry, this piece continues to get harder. So, once again, if you want to learn more of these things, I offer drum lessons. But yeah, just trying to go over these rhythms and make this as simple as possible for you guys. But anyways, so that's going to be count 1 of measure 11. Yeah. So backstick, regular stroke, and you're diddling on the right hand. And then, well, on this transfer, basically, I can't do this in slow motion because the high mom just adds another layer to this. So basically with the high mom, you want to pull into the air more with this when you're doing this version of like a high mom toss, because you really want to give it enough airtime to make the transition clean. So next measure, very straightforward. Paradiddle, paradiddle, lots of paradiddles. So it's the first two counts. So those are two right hand single paradiddles and then a paradiddle diddle off the left hand. And then two paradiddles left and then right, and to a shot at the buzz with left, right, right, left sticking. So let's play both of those measures together. So yeah, going from kind of fluent 16 notes and then getting that nice low 30-second note control. A bit faster. Yeah, kind of lost control of the left hand there, my bad. So, moving on, those are the first 12 measures. So now we get into this kind of flow that matches the vocal execution or vocal approach that Willow goes for it with the song. It's kind of these rests, and then you have do. It's basically that flow, so just think about that. Obviously, I'm not going to try and sing the song because, yeah, you guys don't want to hear that, trust me. So, we start with a rest. So, rest. Pretty simple, just tap roll or shot roll on count 2, book report on count 3, and then on count 4, 2 left hands, second one's a backstick. Rest. So, and I believe, yeah, there's a right hand flip in that rest. Keep that in mind. And then coming out of this left hand, very similar, but it's not going to be a heat transfer or like a regular transfer this time. You're just going to flip it over, right? Left, flip it, and catch underneath. So it comes, and both of your sticks are going to be in backstick, right? Yeah, pretty simple. And this time you don't have to play anything, which is cool. And then, I don't even know if it's like, yeah, no, so, yeah, it basically goes 2 left hand, you're starting with the left hand. So, comes in on the and of 1. Sorry, this is complex. Yeah, so basically rest. Yeah. Promise you'll get it. So, measure 13. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. And then you're going to have, let me get in frame so you can actually see this. So, buzz, similar to how we had with the shot earlier. Yeah, that's another theme coming back. But it's a regular flip and then a front flip string together. So, yeah. So let me play 4 measures in context, 11 to 14. And then we get into the next measure, and these are going to be the last 2 measures that I'm going to show you guys in this live stream, just to keep it short and not super, super long. So, comes in once again on the and of 1, and then we start this crazy pattern that I came up with when I did my cover Wraith with the legend himself, Ralph Nader, BIOS. Yeah, so we did this pattern. It's basically like 2 accented diddles, and then into an inverted flam tap. And then, yeah, it's basically creates this weird 5-lip pattern. And then you end off with just 1 diddle. So, that's how that pattern goes. And then that basically is measure 15 and 16, except on the last two counts of measure 16, just a simple juggle. And then you go through the drum with the backstick left-hand shot. It's pretty easy to hit that because now you have a big chunk of the stick to work with, closer to your hand, and yeah, you should be able to hit that shot nicely and go through the drum. So, and I like to add a lot of force to those. Think of these when you do accents when you're doing juggling. Instead of thinking legato, I like to think downstroke, and that gives those the accents and stuff. So that is the first 16 measures. That is all for content that I'm going to show you guys on this stream. Let me go ahead and play those 16 measures nice and slow. You can also rewatch this breakdown of these 16 measures and refresh yourself, try and learn these stick tricks. Reach out to me if you have any questions. But if you want to learn the full thing and learn more stuff like this, do offer drum lessons. But yeah, here is Wait a Minute, under tempo, first 16 measures. Yep. I knew that was going to happen. Nobody saw that. And boom, there you go. Let me play those once again, a bit more up-tempo. So yeah, a lot of these transitions and juggles are the things that are kind of high risk and can make you drop a stick. As you could see when I did the previous rep, yeah, that was the case, mainly because it was under tempo and slow and wasn't used to the spacing there. But yeah, so that is the first 16 measures of this. Based off of all the stuff in that, and then if you just like watch, the rest of this is really self-explanatory. Basically, after that, measure 17. Yeah, some more rudimental stuff, but it's pretty straightforward from there on out. The tougher stuff is definitely in the first 16 of the 24 measures. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, I'm offering drum lessons, so if you're interested, yeah, please let me know and hit me up. You can DM me on Instagram _Audimus_. And yeah, happy learning. Sheets are also on Instagram over there if you have any questions. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.